Sometimes when I do these recordings, it takes me like 5 or 6, 7 times to get it right because I always fuck around with the microphone. And this time it was clipping, and it took me like half an hour to figure it out because I just got done recording something else. So there's no sound at all so far. I just opened the game. She looks like a dinosaur. I'm a fucking idiot. Oh shit. I'm gonna pause. Shit. There's no audio like volume settings on this game, so I had to turn it down. Hopefully it doesn't fuck up the recording. Sounds sexy though. I heard a piano. Its notes resonated in the May sky. May. The days marked by scattered cherry blossoms were long past. The days scorched by the blazing summer sun were yet to come. May was in between. May was uncertain of itself. May was ambiguous and beguiling. What the hell? I've never heard that word before. But gentle summer light whispered its warmth onto my skin, soothing and inviting like a lullaby. The air was beginning to take on the faintest hint of moisture. The rainy season was close by, waiting. This music is so loud, May. A month that arrives, whether you want it to or not, just by walking a few blocks from the beginning. A month where everything's still new, everything's still setting in. A month that only wishes it knew what's in store. A month that sees the rest of the year spread out before its very eyes, for better or for worse. I'm gonna pause one more time. Yeah, I'm not gonna chance recording that again. A month only a little after the beginning, with the end still a long, long ways to go. Ways to get. A strange, confusing that word again. I can't say that word. What is that word? Beguiling? I don't have my phone with me. Under the skies of the season, a piano was singing a song. Scrubbing. Why does it take me forever to play a visual novel? I think because I have to mentally prepare myself, because I eternally cringe inside when I play this shit. But I don't know. It's just so compelling. It's like looking at someone pop a pimple. What the fuck? Chapter 1, Mayday. An idiot's guide to weathering the freshman blues through It's like watching someone pop a pimple. You know, you can't look away. You're disgusted at it and at yourself. But like, you just can't look away. It's just so mesmerizing. It's the same thing with like playing visual novels for me. It's like there's like an infinite sea, an infinite abyss of visual novels to play. That it's kind of fascinating just to get into them because they're like their own like microcosm of like thing, like genre. Like I'm very interested in it. I think it's kind of fascinating, but at the same time, the idea of being caught playing this shit, it makes me cringe on the inside. So, which is not fair at all, but that's just my predisposition, I guess. But it takes me forever to start recording. I have to like mentally prepare myself, being like, oh shit. May 1st, Sunday, 4 p.m. My 9x12 single, was on the 5th floor of the apartment complex. I have to do a lot of reading, so. The fiery lights of sunset were shining into my room. Suits and shirts were hung up on the walls. Other things lined in my shoebox apartment were the tiny fridge, a rice cooker, a microwave oven, and what have you. The very picture of a bachelor pad for a young cubicle rat. I found myself flopped in a chair, arms wrapped around myself, in a corner of my room, No freaking clue why. My name is Haruki Mizoguchi. What a name. I'm 22 years old. I'm fresh meat at a corporation. That's right, I became a card-punching corporate monkey just this year. Not exactly on my own free will or anything. What? Oh, that's me talking? He's like, man, I'm bored. Thanks. It was, a month since I started living by myself. Somewhere in there, I started talking to myself a lot. I don't really think that fact had any deeper special meaning by that way. And don't you dare get all sentimental on me and go, aw, he's so lonely either, because I wasn't. It was just things like how I still said, I'm home. When I opened the door, sometime or other, I'd gotten into the habit. Weird, isn't it? Man, there's nothing I want to do. There's nothing I want to do. I looked around and noticed my video game console. Way back when I was a student, this was it. Alright. This was what I did on vacation, but I hardly ever flipped a switch on this thing since I moved in here. So the circuits went from nearly burning out to cold and neglected. And so what had been my most prized possession was a useless heap of silicone and plastic. I wish I could hear myself to the monitor, but I can't. It's because I'm a dipshit. But if I go out, I'm gonna end up wasting money. Even though I'd been working at the company for a month, they hadn't actually cut me a paycheck yet. All companies did this sort of thing. I'd get April's pay and my May salary. When I moved out, my parents had been pretty generous. Still, I was trying to keep my expenses down to a minimum. Of course, it's not like I was living on bread and water, but I had no disposable income to speak of. What an amazing place to find myself stuck in. That's right, between a rock and a hard place. Between a rock and a hard place. I stared at the ceiling without really seeing it. The sunset filtered in, painting my room a pale sepia. The only sounds audible in my room were faint voices from outside and the tick-tock of my watch. Idle hands are the devil's playthings. What? The tenet by which all of Japan ran, apparently, and I hated it. What the fuck? I've never heard that expression before. It was the sort of thing I'd get told on the field trips as a student. Ugh. There were no chaperones to harass me now, but I could hear those words haunting my room. If you couldn't tell, I have major dyslexia. So, in the end, after I bummed around for 5 minutes or so, I decided that the interior of my fridge was looking really empty and lonely, and ended up going outside after all. Sorry if it cut me off quick. I left the room, shut and locked the door. I wasn't depressed, nothing like that really, but I let out a deep sigh anyway. 5 floors down from the street, I could see the town yawning in the evening light. It was a lonely feeling. I was walking stiffly down the stairwell. The echoes of my steps were the only sounds in the complex. The instant I stepped outside, I was greeted by a strong yet tender breeze. The sky was red all over, like it had been dipped in a scarlet dye. It was a sight for sore eyes, so striking that even someone as oblivious as me could say that it was absolutely beautiful. Here and there, all along the path to the train station, I saw salarymen returning from home on a Sunday, and housewives who lived around here. Nothing out of the ordinary. I slipped right into the scene, dissolved into the crowd of people, started to walk towards the nearby supermarket. What am I going to make today? Well, I think I might have a bit of chicken left. So I walked around, thinking about what was on the menu for today, and planning out my meals for the rest of the week. It's meal prepping. I hadn't ever dealt with this consideration before the move, but after a month of living alone, it became just another part of the daily grind. Frail little trees alongside the road were fresh as May itself, wearing their young green finery and swaying in the wind. Swaying in the wind. I don't know what slang is. Scrit. Escada. Their colors flared against the red sunset, causing the air to echo with so many hues new to this world. It was dusk, but I was getting this cheerful, lighthearted vibe. I could just barely smell the perfume of flowers on the air, announcing to me in the world that spring had come. And then, meandering softly through the streets, and their all too familiar hubbub, came the faint strains of a piano, somewhere out there. I had strained to hear anything at all, but even then I could just barely make out the melody. Gorge. I'm pretty sure there was no rhyme or reason to what I did next. I stopped walking, focused on the music, and figured out where it was coming from. Then it started for that general direction. Like I said, the reason was not what you could call a profound one. I had absolutely nothing else to do. It was all the reason I had born with of an apathy so malignant that even I could see how pathetic it was. What? I indulged in a little narrative of my life, enticed by the piano song, our intrepid hero. Ladies and gentlemen, the next poet laureate of Japan. Of my internal dialogue because I'm a dweeb. Anyway, for whatever reason, my feet were moving towards the music. Wait, isn't this his internal dialogue anyway? It was never even it. What the fuck is wrong with me? It was never it, and it never even crossed my mind that this random little act might have an everlasting impact on my life. Everlasting? Where the hell is that coming from? A gust of wind rustled through the branches and leaves. The piano music continued past the white noise, a little weakened. I walked along the sunset road, ears straightened to hear and follow the thread of the melody, the way a drowning man grasped at a lifeline he couldn't even see. Alright. After I'd walked a while, I found myself looking at the Shinto temple. There was a row of apartment buildings pressing against each other and themselves, and then there was this temple. Its open spaces almost seemed like a vacuum in comparison. It was a small, beautifully kept structure. Didn't look as old as I might have expected a temple to be. In its courtyard grew a single, large tree. On the undeveloped, unlittered, completely pristine landscape, I saw the faint tread marks of a bicycle. Upon closer examination, I could see lines in the dirt. Clearly, they were made by young hands, using sticks and branches in their play. That had been it. Children used this place as their playground. There was also one of those ritual stone basins you were supposed to wash your hands in before you could properly visit a shrine, but the water wasn't running. The setup seemed kind of neglected. This was weird. So not only was there a little temple here in this crowded area of town, the stream of music was definitely coming from within. Man, this wasn't enough to make you do a double take. This was enough to make you do a double take. Like, huh? The music was warm and moving. Surfusing the entire area, making it all seem like an ending montage to a touching TV drama. The problem was, piano music and Shinto shrines don't go together. Not in my mind. But hell, what do I know? I was still approaching the shrine and the music within, and it went closer and closer. Each step made the grinding noise with the fine sand of the courtyard. My steps seemed so loud, and I felt like I was violating the grounds or something. The closer I went, the more audible the music came to me. The first time I had thought the music was a recording, but now I realized that the clear timbres not only be coming up from the real. I climbed a set of stone stairs and stood in front of the offertory box. The shrine pillars looked so pristine that they might as well be totally brand new, and in the sunset they cast a long, long shadow onto the ground. And from where I stood, I peered through the slates of the latticed door? The fuck? The insides of the shrine were alternately aglow in the evening light and the cast in the shadows of its own lattice work, whatever the fuck that means. In the middle of that sanction was a girl playing the piano. I'm sorry, these words are like tripping me out, bro. The room definitely had a lot of space, enough space for a tiny altar, and then this huge frickin' piano. In fact, it seemed that the piano took up the great majority of what space there was inside. I saw, across the frame of the piano, a face of a girl, the maker of the music. A high school age-ish girl had her eyes closed. Her lips were blurred with a faint smile that seemed to follow along the movement of her fingers on the keyboard. She was decked out on the full-blown shrine maiden regala, which made it seem all the more bizarre that she was playing a piano. Damn, she's shredding on a piano. She must have been really into the music or something, since she went right into playing without any indication she had noticed at all. She's like constantly changing keys and shit. Damn. As I stared at the piano in front of me, the timbre of the music seemed to linger all around me, somehow both sad and gentle. Beautiful. This was beautiful. I didn't have another thought in my head. This girl, and not only her, this music, this light, this entire it was like an enchanted painting in which everything had its special place. I stood transfixed. For a moment, it made me wonder if the lattice, what the fuck is that word? Door wasn't the gateway to the whole other dimension. By the time I came to my senses, she was almost at the end of her piece, which meant that she would eventually look up and see the creepy peeping Tom. But then, I was seized by the feeling that I'd been tossed away something precious if I had just walked away like this. I didn't have the slightest appreciation of classical music, mind you, but just listening to a girl play the piano, well, it was just a nice thing in and of itself every once in a while, wasn't it? There we go. I turned around on the stone steps, planted myself like someone at the Virgil, stared dreamily at the sky, and just noticed the timbres that streamed from the shrine behind me. The setting sun cast long shadows on the ground, dyed with the world across me a brilliant red. The wind picked up a little, and the tree by the shrine rustled in response. By the count, she had graced me with the 5 separate songs by now, which would imply that I'd been sitting there long enough to hear them all. I really must be bored. Hey, I'm fucking bored. I sat down, just yelling at the girl. Yo, I'm bored as shit. I sat down on the steps as I watched the sun start sinking below the horizon. Oh shit, that scared the shit out of me. By the time I'd figured I should be going home, the 5th song ended. I heard a dull scraping of a chair and faint footsteps. Seemed like the concert was over. Well, in a few seconds, she was probably going to run smack into me. A random guy out of nowhere perched from the front steps. She was probably going to jump when she saw me, that or flip out. I had the presence of mind to realize that a quick exit might be just the thing. Unfortunately, I hadn't had the presence of mind to decide of this course of action soon enough. God damn it, that word again. Door opened and there she was. Latace. Whoa. Then she peered down at me with mild surprise and total suspicion, just as I feared. Whoa! Oh crap. Not a stalker, I swear. And to demonstrate the fact, I started clapping without really thinking about what I was doing. Anyhow, I did really want to tell her that she played very well, which wasn't to say that I didn't also want to cut and run, of course. What the fuck? Cut and run? What? She tilted her head in total confusion. Beautifully played. Didn't cut the crap. I could tell good music from bad, but I really didn't have the sense that she played very well indeed. What? Then, as if she suddenly figured out what was going on. Thank you. Thank you very much. A shy, embarrassed smile came from her face. Still, what the fuck? Then, still smiling awkwardly, she descended the stone steps and started walking home. She turned and bowed to me once more when she was halfway across the courtyard, and she continued on her way, which meant she was wearing those shrine-maiden robes home. You couldn't have missed that in the crowd. I replayed a brief mental image of her in those shrine-maiden robes, and out of the... No. But what the... And out of the... No, that was totally wrong. With that twist in my guts or something, I smiled weakly at her in farewell. The moment as she disappeared from sight, all I could hear around me was a resonating silence. I should get going too. I leapt to my feet. Well, okay, not with much energy. Then I went back to my original goal of food shopping. The sky was hovering at the edge between twilight and darkness, and a slight chill hung in the air. A little concert, one brief meeting, and no more, no less. I didn't know at all whether something like that could have any impact on the future, either hers or mine. She and I, our existence, had barely brushed up against one another. It seemed to me that any touch we left on each other would be even more transient and fleeting than the dewdrops that disappeared with the morning sun. I had to pause the recording. What the hell? I had to pause the recording to just take a little break. I went to the pantry and I got this huge bag of Doritos and I just fucking engorged myself with that. I just started eating that shit. I felt good. I'm straight gangsta. I just fucking opened up a bag of ranch Doritos and I started like shoving in my face like an idiot. Oh, but I have no regrets. Anyway, one little concert, one brief meeting. No, 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 more or less. I don't know. I didn't know at all whether something like that could have it. Oh, I already read that. Fuck you. What happened? Oh. 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 This sort of thing happens to everyone, everywhere. It was one of many ordinary occurrences that made up the ordinary stuff in ordinary lives. Sorry, I got something stuck in my teeth. And you know what usually happens to events like that? A few days pass, other things occupy you, and before you know it, you've forgotten that something ever happened at all. And again, you know how they say that the journey of 1,000 kilometers begins with one step. You say that because you're Japanese. This is America. It's funny. Important matters always start with something that seems tiny and inconsequential at the time. My feet hurt. I I really like ranch Doritos. Look at May 3rd, Tuesday, 3 p.m. Day one of the so-called Golden Week. Even the newly hired tradie like me got these 3 days off. What? Ever since the start of more or less National Vacation Day week, the streets seemed to be filled with the noise and movement of people everywhere. TV stations reported that tourist hotspots were crammed full of said tourists. Were crammed of tourists. Ladies and gentlemen, the first day of the most wondrous week in all of Japan. All hold Golden Week. Ah! I'm so bored. Eat my ranch Doritos. Biatch. So there I was, vegging out in the bed, like I was doing right now. I was vegging out in the bed, eating ranch Doritos like a dipshit, ready and willing to commit genocide on all of these precious free week until not the. What the fuck is this guy going on about? Everyone's coming home for the holidays. It's not like there's going to be a place for me no matter where I go. What? I let out a sigh from somewhere deep within me. Ugh. And as usual, once I started finish my chores, yeah, I was truly out of anything at all to occupy my copious amounts of opium. My copious opium. Maybe I should start a hobby or something. You could jerk it if you want to. I mean, no one's here. But noise from the TV drowned out my mutterings. Just as well, my words didn't have any meaning anyway. Christ, I didn't think anyone in the world was this unmotivated. But no, I guess I am. Starting somewhere around the end of April, there was this latent weight that sat inside me daily and innervated. What the fuck are these words? And sucked all of my desires, motivation, energy, anything. Nothing got to or into me. I was just barely functional enough to carry on every day. I started this job with excitement. Now all I sensed was an ever larger emptiness within me that I somehow lost a little bit more every day. It felt like I was being eroded away. This must be freshman blues. Freshman blues. Once upon a time I thought that only happened to corporate drones, salarymen, boring fools with no lives, ordinary people. Imagine my surprise when I woke up one day to find that I was about as ordinary as they came. Whoa, am I supposed to pity you? What the hell? I don't care. Maybe I shouldn't have been so shocked. After all, it was an inevitable checkpoint, a mini-boss you had to defeat in your own way to full-fledged adulthood, right? Except at this moment, I wasn't so sure who would be victorious. Victory? What useless talk. No one seems to be far into the future. No one sees that far into the future. I could only think of today. Right. It didn't pay to worry about how to have a meaningful life when I could even figure out how to have a meaningful day. Better start with that. And you know what the worst part of this was? Navel gazing was how to have a meaningful day and actually have a meaningful day are concepts that are light years apart from each other. Navel gazing. Even I could see that. That moment, I looked to the TV. It was airing a program on the historic shrines and temples of Kyoto. An announcer was chattering on about history. This, priceless treasures that. Beautiful women, what the fuck? Oh, beautiful monuments of something or other. While a Japan lute plucked away in the background. The camera cut to the next location, which was inside a Shinto shrines. The way they'd chosen to accompany the interior shot with that flowing music made me think of a similar scene I dropped in on yesterday. It got me thinking about how that kind of place, nice and quiet, might make a good spot to just chill every now and then. But it's all fuck, no, back, shit, save. I make myself decent for going outside, because any reason was fine, as long as it got me out of this room. Okay, done. Time to switch off the TV. Right then, the program was airing an interview with a person who had picked the music for the show. He said something to the point of, traditional Japanese music works so well with traditional Japanese scenes. I couldn't resist. I turned the TV and muttered back, piano works just as well. And then I turned it off. The shrine was where I remembered it, nestled in the row of houses. The timbres of the piano were as I remembered them as well. The shouts of neighborhood kids playing dodgeball in the vicinity weaved their way alongside the soothing fibers of music in the air. And this place blessed by soft rays of the gentlest sunshine. Time was floating by in quiet, gentle measures. Is that her playing today too? I climbed the stone steps of the shrine and looked to the lattice door. Yup, the same girl playing the same piano. I promptly sat down in the same spot that I picked out yesterday, here on the stone steps. If I really think about it, this is all kinds of strange. A shrine, a sanctuary, a priestess girl, a piano being played by said girl. Didn't have to look hard to find this bizarre by any standard, or calculate that hard to see the improbability of the combination of these things and circumstances. Not to mention the improbability of there being a freaking grand piano in a freaking Shinto shrine. What the fuck? Whoa, how wacky! On top of that, it was Golden Week. Golden Week. Goaltenders. Why did she pick all this of all possible times of the year to play the piano? I don't know. Isn't spring or something? And anyway, in the first place, what was she? She was probably affiliated with the shrine, but still. When I pondered these things, I could hear the piano music continue to flow past me, unconcerned with the trivial thoughts of its existence. But sunlight was gentle, and the warm air was practically whispering in my ear that I was getting sleepy, and my eyelids began slowly to shut themselves. But the next thing I know, I had ended up with my back slumped against my column. Next thing I know, I had my back. The happenstance is fucked me up. The next thing I know, I ended up my back slumped against the column. This music was just the thing for putting someone to sleep. I had just enough time to, what the fuck, I'm tripping out, to register that this was so wrong, before I fell over the threshold of the land of Nod. But something was shaking me, nudging me into the light of day again. The first thing that my eyes processed was the face of the piano girl. Are you awake? Apparently not, because he fucking up. A glance around provided a view of the scarlet sky and a sinking sun, meaning I passed out for 2 hours. I shook my head slightly, clearing the few cobwebs of sleep from my brain. Wait a second. You were here yesterday, right? The shrine maiden didn't sound quite sure of herself. My own answer came blurting out before I could even think. Yeah, that was me. I thought I might wake you, seeing that it will be dark soon. Goodbye now. She bowed, then went off, just like that. The moment after she left, I realized I'm sitting alone here. It's getting cold. There's no one else around. I'm pitiful. Might be Might as well get going myself. I stretched, then went on my way home, all the while pondering what the hell I thought I'd gone there for. The spring breeze fluttered through the area, causing my clothes to rustle a tiny bit. The evening sky was losing its sun to the horizon now. It looked awfully lonely. I'm autistic. I'm a loser. Sad. Got nothing to do but to beat it. I had a plastic bag full of groceries in my right hand. This was the first time I had come to these stone steps already. What the fuck? Nice and quiet. It's my third time or my first time? I tilted my head upwards. The blue skies of spring were high above me, spreading in all directions as far as the eye can see. The sun was gentle, the wind was warm. Time's silken threads slipped tenderly through the outstretched hands of the peaceful world. I'd been on my usual grocery run. I'd chosen to take a slight different route to home, and boom, I found myself in front of the shrine before long. Maybe you wonder why I discovered the place by random chance, even up until now. I just passed through this time around, or at least that'd been my original intention. Dude, was my fucking fan blowing the entire time? Holy shit. Oh god. Hopefully it's not that loud. Oh god, fuck. Thank god I'm just an idiot. Except for the fact that I could hear the same girl playing the same tune at the very same piano. You know how in cartoons, the waft of some delicious scent draws some guy in. Yes, before I realized it followed the music into the courtyard. Wow, that was rough how I found myself here. Wasting yet another precious golden week afternoon in refinery, I'm sorry. Refinement in the vegetative state. My laptop gets fucking super hot, so I don't want it to like blow up. So that's why I turn on my fan. The piano's tones resonated gently in the spring air. Resounded? What the is that allowed? What the fuck, is that allowed? Just like it had on previous days. I gave my arms and legs a nice stretch, but kept staring up at the sky. I'd started talking to the real liking to this quaint place and its quaint atmosphere actually. Not that it was self-evident by now, to everyone but me. In fact, perhaps this place was already become a safe haven for me. But every single time I came, sat here, basked in the sun, listened to the piano, I could feel waves of calm washing over my spirit. Weird. It's 2 p.m. now. Is she always playing at this hour? And does she just keep going till dusk? Always. By which I mean by the 3 times I had come by, the girl had been playing before I arrived, and she would play until the sun went down, then leave. That raised all sort of questions. Foremost of which was, just when does she start her sessions every day then? From now until sunset, shit. Geez, that's more than 3 hours. Pretty tremendous, if you thought about it. I mean, how many people could claim to be able to replicate that feat? Maybe, if she's a spirit haunting the shrine. Whoa, out loud that sounded kind of a thing of a stupid kid would say. Sounded like a thing sounded the kind of thing a stupid kid would say, like me. But let's be honest, I could totally shake that shadowy thing from my head. Thought on my head? What the fuck? I mean, it's not like there are too many girls alive wearing that getup in this modern day and age. I was so deep in these useless thoughts that for a little while there, I entirely dropped noticing what was going on around me. For instance, the fact that the piano was falling silent some time ago, and for another, the fact that the girl had stood up from the piano bench, walked to the latest store. Is that how you pronounce it? and was now about to walk out. I'm gonna look that up because I've never seen that word before, and I feel like a fucking idiot. Lattice? Hello? Word? Lattice. What? La? So I was like half right. Fucking stupid idiot. I wish you can hear his voice in the recording. I went on Google. Which was why. Oh my god. I nearly jumped out of my skin. And the door opened with a bang. Just calm down. Freaking. And while I didn't succeed in jumping out of my skin, I did succeed in jumping right onto my feet on the stairs. The girl just looked on with something akin to dumbfounded shock. I guess it wasn't so surprising. After all, how many times have you seen a fully grown man jump in fright just because you opened the door? You startled me. I'm so sorry. I didn't expect the door to open. So, wonderful. So now I was apologizing to a girl, maybe 5 or 6 younger than me, because I'm a total scaredy cat. Total fucking scaredy cat. Way to go, me. But there was nothing else I could do. Because the effusive apology encapsulated my sincere and profoundly horrible regret at ever having thought she was a freaking ghost. Oh no, it's fine. Hey, wait. When she saw who I was, oh my god. A quizzical, I hope I'm pronouncing that word right. A quizzical look filled her face. Obviously, she just thought of something. Oh, I know. You're that guy who was sleeping here on the steps yesterday, right? I swear I could hear her mentally insert homeless before the guy there. Yeah. Although I wasn't in any condition to feel indignant, everything she just said was true. It all made me totally look totally pathetic. And that's how she thought of me. Not as the nice guy who just sleeps to not slice a hear that guys who just hear the fucking music, but as the homeless bum who comes to sleep here. Suddenly, I realized I really wanted to remember as the former, not as the latter. It's true that the weather is nice out, so it's not like I don't understand how you feel. But, no, that's not it. I didn't come here to sleep, I swear. Oh, I see. Well then, is there any particular reason why you're here today? Oh, well, I couldn't just tell her the truth because I'm a dipshit. As that would involve me opening my mouth and saying I was so irredeemably bored that I just kind of came to kill some time. Why don't you say that? She wouldn't give a shit. Besides, this was a cute girl I had as my conversation partner, only for a few seconds before I got ignored again or slapped. I kind of wanted to show off a bit. Oh, jeez. This guy had no personality until now. So, my mouth opened almost on its own accord and spoke these words. Well, I came because the piano sounded so nice. Huh? Her expression went blank for a moment there. But then, she started giggling shyly. I get that a lot, what the fuck? Hey, I get that a lot, man. You know, wonderful, beautiful it is. Well, for a hack like me. No, actually, I really enjoy hearing you play. I was being totally honest, sure. Dude, what the fuck? Sure, I'm no connoisseur. I didn't know good from bad, as far as classical musicians went. But what I did know for a fact that her music felt like a kind of homecoming. The way she was beaming now, I got the feeling that it had been a long time since anyone had praised her like that. Oh geez, I swear, I'm really nothing special, ha ha ha. And while her words said one thing, the delighted expression on her face said quite another. It was fine, but why the hell was she slapping me on the back like that? What? Strange, she didn't seem that way while she was on the piano, but up close and personal she seemed pretty lively sort, with this wonderful smile. If you're serious about liking my music, then I'll play for you as much as you want. Wait a second, actually, I have to be getting to work now. Oh, well, too bad. Perhaps another time. Oh, actually, if you really want to hear more, then please, stick around for a bit. I'll be done before you know it. Huh? That quick? If I get a move on, I'll be done in 30. Starting now. She slid into her shoes. These happened to be a pair of sneakers. A shrine maiden in sneakers. That made about as much sense as a Shinto shrine with a grand piano. Wait a second. I don't have as much enthusiasm to do that. Wee. Oh, I get really winded. She jumped off the stone flight and landed in a particular grace that could only belong to someone who knew these steps like the back of her own hand. A few strides later, she'd reach a short little shed at the edge of the compound. She walked in and quickly popped out with a large-ish broom in one hand. Oh, you work here? Don't you? I'll finish super quick. Please take a seat. I won't keep you waiting long, I swear. The way her voice resounded in the by now wide open space between us, you could tell she was a handful, all right. What? She wielded that broom with a practicing ease. A soft sandy sound accompanied every sweep she traced over the ground. That said, her cleanup seemed remarkably uncalled for. Spring was not a season noted for fallen leaves at sea. See? And in any case, she didn't even go 5 minutes before she stopped working the broom. That's all, folks. You gotta be kidding me. I retorted almost reflectively. 30 minutes? My rear end. What a slacker. A slacker in shine maiden robes jogged back. The slacker in shine maiden robes jogged back to the stone steps. Sorry you had to be wait on my account. No, I was hardly waiting at all, actually. I mean, you hardly swept anything. Is that going to be okay? Oh, no sweat. It wasn't as if the place was dirty at all to begin with. That must was true. Everything about this shrine was pristine. So pristine that it made absolutely no sense that they employ a slacker like this. Right now, you're thinking, man, this girl's a total slacker, aren't you? A little bit. Oh, that's honest, I guess. But that's okay, no harm or foul. Believe it or not, in the fall, I sweep until the sight of the broom makes me hurl. What? In the fall, in the fall, you worked here last year too? That's right. I've been working here working at this 4 years now, actually. 4 years? Oh, that's right. I haven't even introduced myself properly yet, have I? With that, she lightly brushed some dust, whether or not it was there, off her robes and straightened her posture. Oh, holy crap. Holy crap. With that, she lightly brushed some dust, whether or not it was there, off her robes, then straightened up her posture. My name is Miori Kumika. I serve as the here in Kayamika Shrine. Okay. Vague of me, I've known. But you know what? I had no idea what the hell shrine maidens actually did in this day and age. So, what was I supposed to say? Well, to put it more bluntly, my aunt is the head priestess here, and she lets me work here. That's all. The girl, no, Minori Kamikai, went on with her sheepish grin. And it pays better than you think, too. See? Look over there. See what's written over there? I looked at where she was pointing. Indeed, there was an offertory box, and right above it hung a framed sign with the legend, Kami Shine. Fuck. I know. You're probably thinking, wait, but this isn't there a really famous shrine with their name already? No relation, I swear. But we're not being copycats or anything like that. It's just that the head priestess happens to be named Kimikai. And so does this precinct. So, to get the point, you get the point. Come to think of it, it's kind of like having the same name as some celebrity, isn't it? Imagine if you were named Michael Bolton or something. That makes some really tricky situations, huh? Listening to her ramble on was like watching a machine gun firing at full auto. Sometimes she lapsed into a childish turn of phrase. Other times she speak with an informal sweep expecting of a shrine maiden. You could tell she was still a teenager. Oh, and now I've introduced myself, so please, why don't you do the same, mister? Hiroki Mitsu, fuck. Damn it. Hello, Mr. Miguchi. Well, kind of hard to tell just by looking at you. So, what do you do? I work full-time at a company. I guess I just started this year. Whoa, you're a grown-up. It hasn't even been a month, so I don't really feel that way. From where I stand, you look pretty grown-up. Oh shit, that's her. Whoops. Sorry, I was like, whoa. That was him talking. I was like, bro, step the fuck off. From where I stand, you look pretty grown up. Speaking of which, I'm a sophomore at high school, so that's... Wait, did you think I talk too much? No, I don't mind at all. I'm so sorry. It's so weird for anyone to praise my piano playing, so I'm totally frazzled right now. I'm normally a lot more level-headed. Cross my heart and hope to die. And she let out yet another shy giggle. I couldn't see anything level-headed about her at all. What the fuck? She's just talking to you. Well then, should I play something else? Wouldn't do to keep you waiting, sir. Would it now? If you please. Any requests? Although, my repertoire isn't that large. Not really. Why don't you just play your usual? Read. I couldn't name a single classical piece even if you put me a gun to my head and told me my lifespan depended on it. My usual. A Kimikai original, then. What's that? A coffee blend at Starbucks? Oh, my mom writes these songs in her spare time. We've never kept track, but she's probably written like 200 of them by now. 200? Sounds impressive, right? Until I tell you. She's forgotten over half of them anyhow. I'll play one for you now. With that, she took off her sneakers, opened the lattice, oh fuck, I already forgot, door, and entered the main hall of the shrine. She sat herself down before the piano and rearranged the folds of her robe. She got up again and came outside past the door. Do you, mind? Could you, not look this way? How come? Well, see, I get really into it and end up kind of spazzing out. Spazzing out? So it's, like, embarrassing and stuff. Are you serious? There's nothing to be ashamed about, if you ask me. In fact, there wasn't just nothing to be ashamed about. Someone who could be so at one with herself instrument ought to be proud of that fact. At least, I'd be totally blown away. Yeah, I'm serious. So would you please just do what you usually do? Sit over there and listen, okay? Yes. She wasn't giving me a choice, so I did exactly what she told me to do. Turn around and sit on the steps. I heard the door shut, and then the sound of her settling on the piano bench. What a fucking idiot. Laughing in the back. Oops, shit. Alright then. Alright then. I'll be starting now. And then, right on cue, the shrine came alive with the sound of piano music. And the melodies, so delicate and tender that I couldn't have imagined them coming from a girl I'd just met, danced out under the sky. Why do I play the piano, huh? Well, yeah, I mean, why even on holidays like this? The sky was already in progress by the time our little concert concluded. The Kamiyake shrine was resplendent, regardless or in spite of the slacker who was so lazy about cleaning it. As it lit up in reds and golds, it felt magical, like a scene out of a fairy tale. Well, let me see. Right, first of all, I need to practice. Second of all, it's fun. Third of all, I get time to burn, or something like that. But that's totally normal. So what? Would you rather I have a really abnormal reason? In that case, I have a disease. If I don't play the piano once a day, I'll drop dead. Is that better? No. That's a lie you just made up on the spot. Actually, I really am abnormal. In the AM, aren't I? How many shrine maidens do you know play the piano inside the shrine in which they serve? I'm probably the only one in all of Japan, right? Well, duh, obviously. Probably wasn't a square peg or a rounder hole anywhere in the world. Wasn't. And this is a freaking Shinto shrine. So sorry, it just like. He's so judgmental. What the fuck? And this was a freaking Shinto shrine, not some East meets West fusion cuisine thingy. Oh, and speaking of which, what's up with the piano? And what's it doing in the middle of the shrine? Long story, you sure want to hear it? How long? Think high school principals, sporting events, and motivational speeches. Fine, I'm happy you're not knowing. What a dick. Okay then, as you wish. What happened is that when my family moved, the piano didn't fit in my bedroom, so I begged and whined until my aunt let me put the piano here. That's not long at all. Haha, man. You're so fucking pissed. It's not long at all. You're good at those comebacks. I had no idea exactly when this happened, but it felt like Minori and I had known each other for ages. On top of that, all the formality had pretty much dropped out of her speech, so maybe this was how she normally was. Oh, of course we got permission from everyone who lives around here before I started, because you can hear for kilometers around. That's true, alright. So you see why it's unforgivable for me to play badly, because even every time I play, it's a concert in a sense, even if there's no one in the audience. So, Miss Minori, are you learning the piano or something? Boo, what do you mean, Miss Minori? Huh? You can just call me Minori, Everyone calls me that, because I'm incredibly loath being called Miss any time. Because I incredibly loathe being called Miss every time. Okay, gotcha. Hehe, Mr. Mizuguchi. Don't you be going on thinking sweet things just because I let you call me Minori, you hear? This isn't some TV show or comic book, you know. In any case, I don't go out with old men, so that's that, okay? Well, she could cut glass with that tongue. Impressive, Minori. Most impressive. She definitely drove that point home, hammering it into my brain like a proverbial nail. Not that I was broken up about it much. I mean, man, there's even a shrine maiden fetish going on. What the fuck? There's even the shrine maiden fetish going on these days. We get some visitors to the shrine just because of that, believe it or not. But you know, that's like so uncool, don't you think? I mean, coming to a place to worship so we can all go at some girl or some girl's clothes? Disgusting. Disgusting! It was fucking one of yours, she said, waving her arms up and down violently in her shrine maiden outfit. I feel like you're ogling at her. Anyway, on an only slightly related topic, you're not slightly normal yourself, Mr. Mizuguchi. I mean, I never thought that there'd be someone who'd come listen to me play regularly, even on Golden Week at that. Well, I was under no freaking circumstance going to be forced to admit that I was so irredeemably bored that I just kind of came to kill some time, damn it. By the way, Minori, you ever going to give me an answer on whether or not you formally study the piano? Huh? Oh yeah, totally forgot you asked. Sorry, man. Well, hey, kind of more or less. I used to. See, my mom's piano teacher, so she's taught me a whole bunch. I even did that recital thing when I was little. Can you believe that? Used to. What about now? Now, I pretty much just play to pass the time. No recitals, so no stress, and I can play whatever I feel like. I play with an awful lot of passion for someone who talks like that. Maybe. She looked away a little as she responded. It was a tiny, tiny emotion, but one that stayed with me, somewhere, for a long time. What the fuck is that noise? Oh, right. So, Mr. Miguchi. The moment she said that, the phone rang to a ring. That's a phone? Ah, phone! She trotted back inside. When I squinted, I could make out the cell phone laying on the top of the piano, fuck. And somehow, when I saw it didn't have any sparkling girly accessories on all, I realized that's just like her. Yes, I got it. I'm coming home right now, okay? After an ultra-short conversation, she rushed back to me. Mr. Mizuguchi, fuck, I keep fucking that name up. I'm sorry, I gotta go home now. While she was talking, Minori tossed the phone inside of the long sleeves of her robe. I took a moment to ponder on their wonderful convenience. Okay, see you later. She went off at a dead run, dashing down the stone steps, and out the temple grounds. Even so often, she'd turn around and wave at me. After those few moments, Minori disappeared from the temple into the streets. Now, I was the only one on the temple grounds. The sun had almost finished setting. It was getting dark out. Better get going. My groceries had been sitting there, forgotten since noon. I opened the bag to check them out. The originally hot can of coffee had gotten lukewarm, and one of the eggs had cracked. May 5. May 5th, the last day of Golden Week, 3 p.m. The first day that soothing music had ever filled my room, and the entire month I've been living here. I'm fucking stupid. But the music playing from my stereo that I I liberally fuck wait, what the liberated from my sorry that tripped me up. Liberated from my parents' house, wasn't doing anything for this dreary shoebox or for me. I guess I don't get it after all. I fell back into bed while holding a CD case entitled Classical Music for Dummies, Piano Edition. These composers were all probably really famous, but for someone as uncultured as me, they were all stuck in a land of I don't know and I don't care, or not likely to escape. The one and only epiphany I had: piano music is perfect for sleeping, although if the pianist heard that, he would probably pick up the piano and beat me over the head with that. I had gone to the rental place without anything really in mind. This CD kind of caught my eye, and that was enough reason for me to rent it. Well, they were going to get that early return on this one. Apparently, the amateurs playing of a high schooler shrine maiden did more for me than music imagined by acclaimed composers and given life by virtuoso pianist. Go figure. In any case, given that even with Minori, all I could say was, it just sounds right. That was probably best that I didn't remark on the career of classical music criticism. I started dozing off on my cheap mattress and would have totally succeeded if not the sudden footsteps in the hallway. The next instant, the intercom chimed. It was some poor delivery boy stuck working Golden Week. He handed me a medium-sized box, just the size for sweets, said, "Sign here, please," and took off. Under "from" was my mother's name and home address. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. I'm already going an hour and I'm already tripping up on my words, so it's the best I can do. I'm a stupid fucking idiot, so I keep tripping up. I want to upload more consistently. I have horrible ADHD, so I can't do that. I'm gonna try my best to keep doing it while I'm working on other stuff. So hopefully maybe I can upload tomorrow and continue this, but I'm really bad when it comes to keeping a schedule, so I'm gonna try my best to start doing that. We'll see, because I'm a fucking idiot. So yeah, peace.